Alrighty, guys, we're gonna go on to a fun little one. It says, "What is editing for so many YouTubers like?"
Okay, so this was one where Grandpa's gonna tell a story. I've had so many people ask me questions, so feel free to ask me any questions. But I edit for a lot of people on YouTube. I've edited for a lot of people. Some of the main ones that I'm like really focusing on right now is Retro Rick, Phoenix Resale, and Hustle at Home Mom. Which, by the way, I've
shout out to them.
Hooked Ricky in. Ricky's been helping me with her channel. What Ricky will do is he'll go in there and splice up the timeline, bring in all the footage, put the comps where they go, the comparative prices on eBay and all that, and then gives me the footage for me to finish off. So how's that been treating you, by the way?
It's been really good. It's fun. It's like a learning experience, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, it takes me like quite a while to do that. And then this dude goes around. I can see him finishing one video in like a day, and I'm just like, how?
And you should see what my timelines look like.
I've seen splices of or pictures of your timeline. So like, how much time would you guys say you guys take? A day or a week?
Like the editing process.
Yeah, the whole
thing.
process.
I can't answer with them listening. Then they're gonna know my hourly rate. Oh, come on,
you're right. Okay,
it's video rate. If they want good stuff, they get it from you.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
I loved it because I remember watching a video and this guy was like, "Well, what's your hourly?" And the guy goes, "Well, if I finish it in this certain amount of time, and you're still getting a good product, then should I overcharge you?" Right.
So like,
it comes down to, like,
Hayden Hilliard is the guy who edited Logan Paul. He's in Mr. Beast, a bunch of other things. He's one of the best editors out there. And he says that it's like, there is no real answer to that because there is no hourly rate because let's say you just started editing, right? We have the same hourly rate, but it's all about quality of what you're getting, how you're getting it. Because there's certain techniques within editing too that they're just not part of. Like, your mind is going to think different than mine and edit a different way than another editor might edit because that's just the way your brain thinks. You take emotions in different. You take an excitement different. So you're almost paying for the touch for something. If you were an editor, Tony's touch, Ricky's touch, the Riffus touch is what it calls it.
Yeah, it's a perfect touch. Dude, I'm telling you, this guy has a crazy touch no matter what. It's like out at the swap, finds things. He friggin' teaches me something in like 5 minutes. It's like no one I know could actually do that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Because you were literally cut up things, and I'm like, dude, why aren't there YouTube videos on this?
It's a weird thing. I've thought about making videos like that, but selfishly, I've thought about it a couple times. Like, why don't people know all my tricks?
Right.
There's a little. It's like a magician in a way. There's certain things where like, I don't want him to know exactly how I do that. But I will say, I started doing it. When we first started our old channel, Retro Liberty. Ricky, to this day, how did I edit the first video? You remember?
How long it take?
No, what did I do it on? Was I set up at a nice professional desk or?
We literally sat on my dining table. He's like, "All right, let's start it off. What should we do?" And he started adding stuff to it. I was like, "This is awesome. This is the best thing I've ever seen."
It was garbage, but we're like, best editing ever.
We did it, guys.
We're so excited.
So this is gonna be a little fun. We're gonna rank them by traits for you. Right?
Wait. Explain this. Wait.
No. By traits, I'm gonna say who is the nicest, who is the easiest, who's the most lenient.
Oh wow.
Whoa. Okay. Is this called getting me fired out?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So, dude. First of all, shout out to all the channels. Retro Rick, I love you. Caleb, I love you. Ashley, I love you. I didn't know you were doing this.
We're doing it like this.
Going down.
This is not going to end up well.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But I like it. I like it. Put you on the spot a little bit, but
you're going to ask me about the people I edit for, and I have to like rate them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like
brutal.
we're not saying.
I can answer for him.
I'm not saying this like who's the worst. I'm saying like
you can, Caleb.
Guys, leave Caleb alone. He's a nice guy.
Dude, when Rick posted that
awesome.
community post of his editing for Caleb, I was like, dude, the Matrix is in here, dude, because it was crazy.
I will say I learned before we get into that. I learned editing. I took it very serious. As much as I do, I realize at a young age I do have a tendency for like creative things like music and art and drawing. That's definitely something I've always been drawn to. But when I started editing, my brain immediately went on YouTube and took like every class I could take. And I went from like beginner video, like how to get around in Final Cut for beginners, to like the next month being like, might as well go for it. Master class, Final Cut. Like I want to know the depths of it. I want to be the best. The way I tell people, if you're editing, if you see something on TV, the movies, a YouTube video, there will be a video out there teaching you how to do it.
Yep.
So it's okay to look it up and be like, dude, I want to be able to create that effect. I want to be able to tell stories that way. There's a whole art to effects and even just storytelling in itself. So
right,
I was trying to avoid the ranking, bro.
No.
Tony, ask me another question.
Let me check the time. Oh no, it looks perfect.
Yeah.
Time to answer.
And we gotta go.
All right, so I would say these aren't like really negative. These are all positive, but they
You
fit in the world.
You can have fun with it, bro.
All right. So let me just start off with a good one. Who is the hardest workload out of all of them?
by far and large, Caleb.
Now,
Yeah,
is that just
I
because
knew
of the fact like it's just what he wants for the video?
Caleb, whatever anybody says him on the internet, I will firmly, from editing for probably 50 different people and projects in my life of YouTube and commercials, Caleb is a mastermind. And people don't realize that about this guy. Like, he knows what he wants before he sees it. He thinks of the title, the thumbnail, the way, the progression, the storytelling. This is going to cut to this. I mean, he'll send me raw footage, and it's like, okay, Riff, well, we're going to start this. I'm going to go to Goodwill. I'm going to talk about 2 things, then cut back to me outside. I'm going to give you 4 B-roll shots of the store. When I go back in, I'm going to go back in, say the prices of this. I'll let you know my mission after that. And I'm just like, he is on it.
Now, when you first picked him up, was it like that?
No, because he was just cut and dry, right? Like any other, channel, just editing and just doing his thing. And I remember he left a comment on one of my videos, the NES Pursuit days.
Yeah.
And the comment from Phoenix Resale was, this video is better than my entire channel. And at the time he had 66,000 subscribers. And not saying I did it or it's me, but he will be the first to admit that I play a huge part in his growth. I mean, he went from the 60,000 to it went like this when I started working with him. I don't like to say when I started editing, even though it's true, but when I started working with him.
Dude, I'm pretty sure it's just his mustache is just killer.
It's pretty
Mustache
good.
gang
That's
all
it.
day.
Yeah. Were you gonna ask something?
No, I was just gonna kind of mention about Caleb, and I watched his secondary channel. I think it's like Renix P Sale.
We don't talk about
Who
that.
names their channel that?
I think it's just very like his character on there and the way he breaks down his business and what he's been doing recently. It just kind of echoes what you're saying,
Yeah.
right? It's just, he's like very much on another level the way he operates. So it's pretty interesting. And also, sorry, just to rewind a little bit, the reason why I asked you about what you're doing like with like hourly per week is just like you're very much on like go all the time.
Always.
And so like I'm just curious, like, man, like where do you sleep, or when do you get your rest, or when do you spend time with your family, and like,
So
'cause you have a lot on your plate, bro.
Totally. I put things like in place that are like the for sures that have to happen.
Right.
Like, we recently switched churches to a church where it makes sense. Like, I'm with my kids. I've been very adamant about like every other day of the week. Like, okay, I'm home for lunch. I'm taking Brixton to lunch. My son, I'm taking my daughter. I'm taking my other daughter, making sure I have time. At night, make sure me and my wives put our phones down when we're together. We go on dates. That's huge for us. We must do dates. But anytime I'm not specifically spending with my family, my break time is a 6-mile run. And that's just what my wife and I have come to agree. My break is my 6-mile run. That's my breather. Otherwise, I am working. I do not pick up my phone to check things and swipe around. I just don't do it. I stay as productive as I can. I mean, I'll be honest, my work days, again, I'm hanging out with my family in between the time and during, and making sure they're segmented to making sure I have time with them, because that's most important.
Mm-hmm.
But from 5 a.m. to 11 at night, I am straight up working. Like working.
Yeah, no.
It's just how I was wired.
It seems like it. No, it seems like it.
No
You guys
joke.
are
I
just
don't even know how he like replies to me at the time. But he does. He gets back to me like instantly. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, he's on his next little. He's like, whoa!
He's literally editing. Is like, look at the shirt I just got. I was like, are you still up?
This is what I'll do. As I'm rendering a video, when it's like 30 seconds to render, I'm like, what, not quick. Oh, buy a shirt, blink, next. Oh, video's done, and then keep going. Like, gotta squeeze in what I can.
All right, you got to answer on this next one. So,
Okay.
Who is the nicest that you edit for?
That is really hard, and I don't even say this.
Because they're all good people. I mean, I'll be honest, these are probably the nicest people. I haven't met At Home Mom, but she seems very sweet.
It's very hard to pick that, because they're all, like I said, they're very good people. And I would tell you if they weren't. To be honest, I wouldn't work for people if they weren't. Ashley is a genuine sweetheart. Like, she is just so sweet. She's always like overly like, I want to make sure you're taken care of. We're in a group chat we communicate with my wife, her husband. We're in a group. We're always goofing around, playing around. Caleb is extremely, I say this funny, most people don't think that of Caleb because he's business, he's this and this, but he's very like, him and Rick are always checking in about things that have nothing to do with YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, how's your family? Let me pray for you. Ashley's the same way too. Let me pray for you. That's one of those ones where I would say across the board, they're all like
Quality people.
extremely quality people. And I wouldn't say I'd be the first person to love to throw Rick or Caleb under the bus. Like I would take more pleasure in that if I could, but I can't. They're just sweet guys that genuinely care about life. And it's just, I talk to them all on a daily basis all throughout the day as just people, not like only work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, this is the last question for the ranking, I guess. It would be, who is the easiest / most lenient?
Rick.
By
far. Ashley is very much too, though. I will say that. She is very much as well. I will say Rick just has it down to where he will literally film, put it all into one giant clip, send it to me, and be like, good luck. See ya. I do his thumbnails. He barely critiques them. He almost never sends a revision of the videos. Rick is just like, he's like me.
Yeah.
Rick and I are very similar. We're always working. And if we're not, we're with our family, and that's about it. So he's very like, sweet, I'm trusting you, which has been great. His channel's been doing fantastic too.
Yeah.
Yesterday, his video, he texted me, wow, I never thought this. His video got 100K in less than 24 hours.
Holy cow.
And it was like
Growing, baby.
It was just one where he was like, you got this, good luck, sweet, thumbnail looks good, next. I did, in the past 3 days, Ricky, I finished up Ashley's video, a Caleb video, and 2 Retro Rick videos.
Holy cow.
And you should see the timeline.
Chugging.
You should see the time. They look like the Matrix. I have crack addict brain and I've never touched a drug, so I don't know.
Or caffeine.
I haven't had soda in 30 days. So, but Retro Rick, when we met him in Arkansas, remember when I met his old editor?
Yeah.
He literally came up to me and he was like, "You," and I was like, "What's happening?" He's like, "How?" He's like, "I've seen your timelines." He's like, do you genuinely do drugs?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "I don't believe you." And I'm like, I don't, I swear. He's like, how do you do these timelines? I was like, I don't know.
Since you started editing, how has the process been for you?
I mean, it's not bad. It's just really time consuming. I feel like once you put time into it, I'm like getting faster at it. But that first initial like couple, it's just, you're just looking at it like, dang, this thing's never going to end. But I mean, now it's like, I'm like, oh, snap, I can do this. It's fun. It's fun to add your little stuff to it too. I love adding it. Like, hey, Riff, just a heads up, I added this on here, and I start laughing. I'm like,
Ricky loves to add little memes. That's like
when you guys did that one video, you let him post on the main channel, and it was just like meme.
It was just meme city. Ricky's first.
I forgot about that. I did that episode.
One of my favorite. Now I got a question for Tony, and I know it's not in the editing thing. Have you ever considered on going into the content side of things, like creative content?
You guys do have a little bit of. I mean, you guys are a camel crew. You are technically part of the show, and like your own wannabe way. I've never thought about that, honestly.
No, that's really funny. We definitely have. Joe, Austin, and I have definitely talked about it. And just because like, just that the kind of minor following that we have and the antagonist protagonist like thing that we have going on, it's really fun, I think. And I think it'll be cool for us to unravel kind of like what we do on our end and like kind of see like maybe double perspective in a way, and maybe we can even play off each other in some senses, so. But also I think a part of me kind of worries, I don't want to put myself out there too much.
Got it.
And because like,
who would do that?
I mean, it takes a special person, right?
Very
and it's
special.
like to be in front of the camera all the time and really be in like that main person or whatever else that is. And not to say that I want to be that,
Totally.
right? But it's just like putting your part of your life in front of everyone is, I don't know. It seems very much a reach. I really like to keep my life private.
I would say that's a leap of faith, because the same thing with me, it was like I didn't want to be in front of the camera at all. I would tell him like, dude, I'm just gonna be in the background, like I'm cool. Like,
I still don't want to be in front of the camera.
Yeah,
Ricky's 12 years deep. I'm like, sorry, bro. You guys are loved though. I think that's good to know. Like you guys are loved, like as the camel crew. I think that like even like Jared, my editor, like when I first started, filming you guys and this and that, he's like, dude, who are these guys? These guys are funny. But I think it's cool because like I do like the dynamic of us on our main channel, Pixel Game Squad, of like it does show a cool camaraderie of brothers, because What happens the minute we film each other? We all start acting like buffoons.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, exactly.
We're immediately like,
best.
"Blah, blah," like totally like the "What's Up" scene from, like just like a bunch of goofballs being silly. And I think that's a really cool place. And I think a lot of people have warmed up to you guys real quick. Although poor Austin with the Harvey Weinstein thing, man. I don't know if anybody missed the episode. One of the guys on the Camel Crew, he found an old Rolodex. And there was all the big time celebrities in there.
Oh, yeah.
Out of nowhere, Harvey Weinstein was in there. We're all like, we were like, should we laugh? Like, is this funny? Like, in this weird world. And in the end, of course, it's funny. Poor Austin. I called him Harvey last episode. He's like, really? You gonna call me that? I'm like, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, but Austin's a champ, dude. He handles
Yeah.
it pretty well.
Definitely.
Okay, so another thing on this same topic is what are some of the key traits that you look for when you are editing to be able to make it like a successful video? Because I know you have a director's mind, but you're also taking in somebody else's content while they're sending it to you.
It's interesting because you'll get different types of footage. You'll get people who they already know what they want in mind. Let's take like a Caleb. Actually, I have 3 examples. Perfect. Caleb will be like the end where he's like, I know what I want, but of course use your creative mind to turn this into what you think, because without that, I wouldn't have wanted to hire you. I could just hire any editor, right? So he's the most like constructed of like, this is what I want, do it, and maybe mess around with a little bit. Then there's Ashley, who's like a little bit below that. Like she knows what she wants, but she's not as just like, blah, here's footage. She's kind of in that middle spot. So with someone like that, I get to play in a little bit more, kind of find out their humor. You have to talk to the person you're editing for, find out them. Like you find the styles they like from the revisions they send you. They might not like as many memes. They may like them, which she does like them. She likes that. So I get to play with that. And then on the other end is Rick, where it's just footage, and make this interesting. However you do it, go for it and make it interesting.
Dude, Rick's a minimalist for sure.
He's a minimalist. But with that, you're finding ways to make... I tell people, and I told this to Gerard a while ago, by the way, shout out Gerard. He's been trying to get me to edit for him full time for like 10 years.
Oh, really?
And which is a big compliment, and I'm thankful for it because he's, a 1 million+ channel. And because I told him a long time ago, there's no excuse for a video not to be entertaining. I don't care what type of footage you get. And when I told him that, he's like, why don't you need to go tell my editors this? Not saying his editors are bad, but it's just, you're trying to teach. You can tell stories with anything. There's music, there's impact sounds, there's cues, there's interesting zoom-ins and pull-outs, and when you're pulling in, the music goes up with it and goes down. There's so many different things you can do to kind of be a maestro when it comes to editing. And I think when you get someone like Rick, who's just throwing you footage, you should be able to make it interesting. So I'm always looking, where's the story in this? Where's the buildup? Where's the part that's exciting? We need to lead the audience to that, let them know it's coming, and let them be excited when it gets there. A lot of times I think, editing or channels will suffer when, say, the big reveal at the end is, and I got that shirt and it was worth $5,000. And there's almost no build-up. They keep using the same music through it. And they're like, dude, it was $5,000. They're stoked on camera, and it's just kind of there. I want that music to swell up. I want an impact screen to fade to black where it's dead silence to let the audience breathe and be worried. Music comes back in. Cha-ching sound effect hits, not the ones that everybody used, though. Go look up some new ones.
This guy.
The new music comes in.
I'm visualizing it too.
And you got to bring them up and down. It's like a movie.
Right.
Like they're up, and nothing is better than they're up, they're excited, and all of a sudden the music changes with a sound effect, and Rick looks at the camera, but the game was fake. Like there's just so many things to do to keep the audience going and moving.
I mean, if you can tell how his mind works, it's kind of insane.
That truly is scary.
Now, this is the last question on this thing. If you had another time slot in your editing profession, who would you ideally choose for another person?
Another person to edit for?
Yeah.
Man, that's a hard one. You know who I think probably My Retro Life. Just because I love what his videos are is kind of like my favorite type of content to watch. I'm a big emotional watcher on YouTube. Like I weirdly enough watch like a lot of like
we cry, we got it.
I definitely cry.
Crying's chill.
Yeah, totally. I got embarrassed. But I like impactful content. I love exciting content, fun content. That's kind of where I shine. But I really find a special place in like meaningful edits where there's like more to it. I think a big example of that, and I pulled kind of my own card on Caleb on this one, overbearing what he asked me to do. He ends his videos where it's like, hey, and I'll see, if you want to see this video, check it here, and I'll see you guys on the flip. He's done that every video. And the last video he did, it was at Retro Rick's store, and it was him doing this big outro about how he's proud of Retro Rick, this and that. And he sent me and if you want to see the next video, you know, I'll catch you on the flip. And I took that out and I just faded to a black screen and put text that said, "We're so proud of you, Rick. Like, you've come so far." And I was like, you need to leave it that. You need to leave it there with some soft music still going, because you just got done telling your friend how proud of him you are. You cannot switch it to, and I'll catch you guys. Like, it it wasn't the time.
Right,
I was trying to get that emotion in there that I
timing
wanted.
on that, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that is crazy. Thank you, man. I mean, that's like a great insight.
Thanks for asking.